Hi, this is John Buhl with the MMA Outsider Podcast. I am joined today by Duke Rufus student Sergio Pettis. Of course, his older brother Anthony fights in the UFC, but Sergio has his MMA career going now. He's 1-0 as a professional, I believe. Sergio, how did your pro debut go for you, and how good does it feel to kind of have that first fight out the way?
Oh man, it went awesome. Canada is crazy out there, man. The fans are awesome, and just getting that first win out the way, that was awesome. I had a lot of pressure coming out of this fight, and I'm glad I just pulled through and did what I had to do.
Right. Now, I know, there's young fighters training all over the country, and not too many of them have a chance to work out at a great camp like where you are up at Rufus Sport with, of course, Duke himself, Eric Koch, Anthony, your brother, you got Danny Downs, Pat Barry. I mean, there's just a slew of guys. What's it like for your development as a guy kind of new to the sport, working around so many high-level professionals? How has that helped your development, do you think?
Oh man, it's awesome. Training with these guys, they're teaching me, their weaknesses, or we're all just working on getting each other better. Ben Askren's a great wrestler. We got him there working with our wrestling. We had a great jiu-jitsu coach, Josie, black belt, and we're all just working to get each other better. And all the higher level guys, they're beating up on us, but they're making us better. And it's just awesome having them there. It's just like a big family down there. It's just we all want to make each other better, and there's no beef at the gym, and we all care about each other. So having them guys there is awesome. Learning from their mistakes and gaining from what they're gaining as well.
Right. Now, you since you're starting out yourself, and this is only going to be your second pro fight coming up. Since you're training with so many high level guys, is it hard to kind of I don't know. Is it hard mentally to get ready, knowing the guys you're fighting maybe are actually below the level of the guys you're fighting at the gym? Or what do you do, and what do your coaches do to kind of keep your focus in the right place when you're fighting guys who maybe aren't on the UFC level like some of your training partners, but could still be dangerous?
Yeah, the Duke's just the guys that are lower levels. I'm lower level as well, but they're not as technically correct as like Anthony or Eric. These guys could get off on us, so they just keep me focused and ready. Because there's a big bum rush in the beginning of most of these fights, and it's not as technically hard, but mentally it's hard. These guys are gonna push forward the first minute, and they're gonna try to beat me up because I'm a little kid. I'm still young, so yeah, it just keeps me focused. I get beat up by these professional guys, but we still have guys that are locally professional too, and we all train together. So there's people coming up and there's people on the rise. So we're just kind of getting each other better, even though the professionals are just still there.
Right, and I know you've told this story probably a bunch of times, but what got you into mixed martial arts in the first place? And did you and Anthony kind of get started together, or was he doing it for a little while before you got into it?
Yeah, Anthony actually started before me. He was actually my basketball coach for a while, my 8th grade basketball coach. He stopped coaching to start his MMA career, and then after seeing him doing what he did, I loved it. All the training, all the sacrifices he made, just watching him compete was awesome. I was like, man, I got to get a part of this.
Right. So, did you have a background in any other combat sports or wrestling at all, or did you kind of come into it fresh with a new perspective?
We all started off doing Taekwondo. Me and my brothers, we started off at a young age doing Taekwondo. So, we had the Taekwondo background, and I wrestled at high school, but I started doing kickboxing before that. So, yeah, mostly Taekwondo was my main background.
Right, so, with all your background and everything, and of course, you got a great wrestler like Ben Askren to work with. I'm sure he's helping you guys a lot, but has there been any part of MMA that you think's been the most difficult to pick up, or do you think everything's kind of coming along pretty well overall?
I think everything's coming along pretty well. The hardest thing, is just mixing it all together, the kickboxing, the wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, and, just not making mistakes. So, other than that, I think, by themselves, it's all coming along together. Just mixing together is always the hardest thing to do.
Right. Now, your last fight, like you mentioned, was in Canada. You got a big one there. Now, this fight, you're going to be in the main event of the NAFC event coming up. I believe it's November 18th. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, so you're fighting in the main event. It's going to be near where you train. I imagine you're going to have plenty of fans there. You're fighting a guy, Tony Zielinski. He's fought in King of the Cage twice. He's 2-0. First off, just talk about, do you feel like it's going to be more pressure? You might be a little more amped up, fighting in front of the home fans?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be a lot amped up, man. My whole family's gonna be out there, and all my friends and fans out here. So I got a lot of pressure on my shoulders because obviously I want to do good in my hometown, and I'm just gonna take it something and just try to make it positive. I'm just gonna just perform and do what I have to do to win.
Right. So as far as Zelensky goes, what do you know about him? And have you studied any tape on that, or are you kind of leaving that up to your coaches?
No, actually, I looked him up on YouTube and stuff, and I saw he's more of a wrestler. He's got decent striking. His ground game's pretty well, but I see him, using wrestling as his strength. So I'm just gonna, defend his takedowns and keep it standing. If I have to go to the ground, I'm gonna, work my jiu-jitsu. Just actually got my blue belt in jiu-jitsu too.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully I can put that to use. Yeah.
Yeah, I trained jiu-jitsu for a while. I sucked at it, and this is probably why I didn't get my blue belt. But it seems like that, in a way, is almost the hardest step because you have to get that over that first hurdle, and then once you do, things can probably fall in place a little better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, you're in the main event against Zelensky. You're talking about you're fighting at bantamweight. You're a pretty young guy, so is the cut pretty easy for you, or do you have to drop a lot of weight and expect to move up in the weight classes sooner or later, or what's the weight cut like in just getting down to 135?
Yeah, the weight cut's pretty decent right now. I'm not really heavy. I just fought back to back, so my weight was really already low, and I just went from training camp to training camp. So my weight's actually really low right now. This weight cut's not be much. It's probably like 6 or 7 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Right, now you're starting to build up a little bit of a resume yourself, but of course it's hard not to be compared to your brother when he's a successful athlete in the exact same sport. What's it like competing with a guy who's in the UFC and kind of in the title picture right now? Does that, put any more pressure on you, or are you just kind of proud and just want to, follow in his footsteps, or do you just, I don't know, is it difficult at all, or do people always comparing you to your brother? What's it like?
Oh yeah, people always compare me to my brother, but I'm glad to be his brother. I'm proud of the accomplishments he's doing. Like you said, I just want to follow in his footsteps, and hopefully I, be just like him, but at a lower weight class and still accomplish what he's accomplished. I'm proud of my brother. A lot of people they think it's like bad, like, oh, you're Anthony Pettis' little brother, you're not going to be as good and stuff. But he's training me, and I'm learning. It's kind of like Duke and his older brother. He had an older brother, Rick, was doing really good, and now Duke's doing really good. So hopefully it could be just like that. Me and Anthony doing really good.
Right. Now, of course, I know they train a lot of pretty crazy moves, like, of course, Anthony's off-the-wall kick, and he made it work for him pretty well. Are you at that level where you're trying to work in some more unorthodox striking, or are you just trying to kind of focus on the basics right now?
Man, I'm pretty good at my basics, so, when we have our hard sparring sessions, and that's where, we're all technical, and we're, working stuff for our fights, but we also have them fun training sessions where we do kicks off the cage. We'll throw some spinning kicks in there, these crazy trips, and it's just stuff to play around with. But if you use in the fight, it could work. All the stuff could work. Just like Anthony's kick, I never thought he'd throw in the fight, but he threw it, and look, man, he just landed it, and he's probably gonna go down in history for one of the greatest kicks.
Yeah. Now, going back to the point about, being his brother, and training with so many top-level guys, unfortunately I can't remember his name because I'm an idiot, but Junior and Rafael Asunciao's younger brother, he's actually doing really well now in MMA. He's 5-1, and, I talked to him about, what's it like kind of, you have your future, your goals, and you want to get to the highest level yourself, and, working with such top-level guys and so much talent, do you ever feel like you're pushing forward too fast, or do you feel like you have to, remind yourself that you can't jump in there with the UFC guys yet, and you need to, kind of remain patient? Like, is that easy for you to just keep patient, or do you find yourself, feeling like you're gonna be ready for the big time pretty soon?
I would love for the big show to come, but I'm just staying patient. I'm gonna take my time with this, and I'm gonna grow as a fighter and as an individual. So, if the big show comes, that would be great. But I think taking my time would probably be the best bet, and learn how to mix everything together and just be a complete fighter. So when I get to the big show, I could be a star and a phenom, man, just something people haven't seen before.
Right. And also, I mentioned it earlier, but being in the main event, do you feel any more pressure, kind of headlining the show, or is that something that you kind of want to feel that pressure so you can know that you can handle it and that you can kind of rise to the occasion?
Yeah, I want to feel that pressure. I want to, look past it, and, the main event, it's awesome, it's great in my own town, but, I don't want that to ruin my performance. It's just that hype right there. I'm just going to stick to my game plan and, win this fight no matter how I win it.
Right, so I think that's pretty much all the questions I had, but is there anything you'd like to plug? Any sponsors, teammates? You can go ahead and thank those people.
For sure, I want to thank Duke, first of all, God, Anthony, my mom, Carmen Construction, U.S. medal finishing, and Remax Real Estate, and Diamond Cup, of course. That's it.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm sure Duke will be happy that you brought him up before God, because I know he's a really good coach. So I'm not
supposed to be the opposite way around, but
yeah. I'm sure he doesn't think of himself that highly, but it's
no, not at all.
All right. Well, like I said, I appreciate it, and good luck in your fight coming up in a couple weeks, and we'll hopefully talk to you again in the future. Thanks a lot.